Hey, mamas, welcome to the pod. Yes, I'm still pregnant, in case you were wondering. Baby is not here yet, but we are on baby watch, and we're so glad you're here for 30 minutes. So, Katie, tell us about your Cliff Notes. What do we got going on?
Kaia is turning 1 in a couple of weeks
Mm-hmm.
and planning her birthday party. I don't know why, but it is giving me so much anxiety because this is her first birthday. I know she's not going to remember it, but for me as her mom, knowing this is like her only birthday that she's going to have without a sibling, I don't know why, but I want to make it extra special for her.
Yeah.
That being said, we have a theme. The theme is Kaia in Wonderland.
So cute. Alice in Wonderland, we
It's
love.
like it's kind of cute, right?
Yeah.
Um, I feel like I'm going to do a mix of like getting little tiny sandwiches and then also making little tiny like tea sandwiches because we're really going with the Alice in Wonderland kind of vibe of just like tea.
Love it.
We're gonna have a little mimosa bar, but I'm doing all of it myself. I'm gonna be 30 weeks pregnant during this, but I have a qualm, and I've brought this up to you: balloons.
Mm-hmm.
I
The
am
racket.
Yes, I am so stressed out about the balloon situation. I have reached out to at least 5 to 10 different balloon decorator pros. It is insanity what people will pay for balloons. The
Mm-hmm.
quotes I was getting range from, no joke, $800 to $1,500 for balloons.
We're in the
I
wrong
just,
business, is what you're
yes,
saying. Yes.
yes. I just cannot fathom paying that much for balloons. And I need to know if I'm in the right or the wrong here because I have now gone and ordered balloon kits and a balloon blower up machine. And I'm
Mhm.
gonna, and Jason and I stayed up late watching YouTube videos last night on how to do this. And I don't know if it's like worth just paying the money because it seems so stressful or finding someone that can just like come and set them up now that I've purchased everything. Yeah, I need you to talk me off a ledge a little bit.
Okay. So I've already told you I wish I
You're a
was
pro.
there because
Yes.
I have done a million balloon garlands in my day because I too priced it out and realized that shit is insane. Now that I
They're
have made several, I will say your fingers will feel numb for a week if you make it
Mhm.
yourself. Tying knots is no joke. Don't get a manicure, don't even bother because your cuticles will look like absolute garbage when you're done. But it's honestly mindless, and having the balloon blower thing is a game changer. That as soon as I figured that hack out, it was like no big deal. I am so happy to teach you how to do it, but do not spend $800.
Isn't that crazy? It just feels
Yes,
like highway robbery.
it is.
I can't, I mean, the profit that they must make, because when you buy a pre-made kit, even of like with different size balloons in it, the most you're paying is $20 a kit. I
Right.
understand your time is valuable. I feel like I just can't bring myself to do that. $800 is a lot of money.
Yeah, a
And
lot.
balloons are not worth $800.
No.
And then I see people's like extravagant birthday parties. I feel like I've fallen into the Instagram algorithm of lavish birthday parties. And these people, it's not just one arch, they have full on like give magical experience extravaganza. And I'm like, how are they affording this?
Do you know what I think about a lot are the Kardashians because they are known for like doing an entire tunnel entryway full of balloons. And I'm like, what the hell did that cost? They do
And
say that they take the flowers and the balloons to like nursing homes and hospitals and stuff. And I hope that that's true because otherwise, what a waste.
well, also, did you see on Mother's Day, Kourtney Kardashian's the flowers?
Insane. Yeah, she's the one who said it. She's like, when
Oh, she said
people
it.
are
Okay.
wondering what happens when Travis buys me all these flowers, don't worry, we donate. And I was like, I really hope that's true.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we're not buying flowers. We have a full-on garden here, so I'm
Yes.
planning, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I'm planning on making tea sandwiches. I'm planning on um doing all my vases myself with flowers, planning on all decor myself. I am a one woman band. Yeah, I don't know how. Whew.
You
Jason's
got
like, it's all
this.
gonna be fine. He's like, it's gonna be fine. It's just a birthday.
Right.
And
Well,
he
let's flash back to 2023 when Dylan turned 1 and I threw a full-blown wedding. Also did it all myself. Um, it was Dylan's first rodeo, and yes, I had ponies riding up and down the residential street and a full-blown petting zoo and a cow and a duck and all these things. And will she remember any of it? No, she won't. So
but
just know
it's for
it's
us
a
to know we did a good job.
yeah, there's something crazy about it. And remember, we had Helena York on the podcast, and I brought it up to her because she's a good friend, and I remember I talk about it all the time. Like on that day, I felt embarrassed. I was like, I did this for me. This was like fully a like I'm trying to prove myself as a mom bullshit or something. I have no idea what I was thinking. I mean, it was for Dylan, but like looking that day, I was like, maybe I would have done this differently.
Yeah,
Elena did it right. She had like a cute thing for the baby that was like he loved it. And then she had a dinner party for her and her husband. And I'm like, that's what you do because
I know.
really, celebrate your first year of getting to
Much,
parenthood.
much smarter.
Yeah.
Also, I am curious for all the moms listening, what do you think an appropriate budget is
Hmm.
for a 1-year-old birthday party and also a smash cake?
Mm.
What are we doing? Because I think I'm just going to go to Whole Foods and get the Chantilly berry, whatever cake that is, because Kaia is obsessed with blueberries and also strawberries. And I feel like there's not a ton of additives. And I'm also on that algorithm of, ooh, frosting is bad for you. And supermarket cakes have poison in them,
Yeah.
which like didn't I grow up eating supermarket cakes and I'm fine?
Yeah.
What what is wrong? I
I know
I've
the
lost
internet's
my
a
mind.
dangerous place. I know.
I've lost my mind. I've taken up way too much time talking about these first world problems.
I mean, yes, they're
So
first,
embarrassed.
like, thank God these are the things we're dealing with for sure. But they're real. You want the best for your baby and, you know.
Yeah. I want her to try some cake and I'll eat the cake with her because I'll be 30 weeks pregnant and that's the cake we're gonna go with. So
Just buy like 2 cupcakes at Magnolia and call it a day,
oh, that's also a great
you
idea.
know? It's her
All right.
size. She'll get that cute little messy photo. It'll be great.
I'm gonna marinate in that. What do
Okay.
you what do you have?
I still have a cold, if you didn't hear from that cough. We're still rocking the sickness. I don't know what is happening. But on a better note, Andrew and I yesterday got hooked up with the best seats to the Cubs game. Like we were right up there on the field. They could have this club called the 1914 Club, and we just had a parents' day. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. I was really hoping my water would break or like I'd start going into labor at the game because I'm like, we could end up on the Jumbotron or like, what if they give us like season tickets because our baby's born at the stadium? I was like, I'm going to
Mm,
do this for the plot. I'm going to manifest it. I'm going to bring this baby into the world in our favorite place. Like Andrew and I had our first kiss after a Cubs game. Our second date was a Cubs game. Like at our wedding, our last song of the night was like Eddie Vedder's All the Way, which is a song about the Cubs winning the World Series. Like we love the Cubs. So I was like, this would be iconic.
yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm still pregnant. So that didn't work, but it was a gorgeous day in Chicago. Cast of the Bear was there, which was fun because they shoot the show in Chicago. And it was just a great date for mom and dad. So that was really, really nice. And then the other thing I want to say is a special shout out to you because I have been so low energy and just like really feeling those final days of third trimester. And we started this podcast because we know how great motherhood is when you have a team of moms behind you supporting you. And the way you've shown up in these final days of my pregnancy is like so
Oh my God.
special. And while you're just like, you're really holding down the fort with the podcast, I haven't been able to like contribute as much as I'd like to and like I planned to. You've just been really like, let me take this on. And I just want to say, I hope everyone has a Katie Krause in their life because, just moms shouldn't have to do it all. And I think even partners sometimes, as much as they love, our husbands love us, they don't know what it's like to be
I
carrying a
don't.
baby and to feel terrible. And it's the women in your life sometimes who just really show up because they get it firsthand. So Want to say thank you and say it publicly. So thanks for that.
That's so nice, but also you don't need to say thank you because we're a team here and that's what we decided on from the beginning. And we do it. It's an ebb and flow. My baby's coming in 3 months after
Yeah,
yours. We're gonna take turns, and
that's right.
it's not even anything you need to say thank you for because
Well,
like you've done so much. I cannot even believe that you're sitting here on Zoom right now doing this when you're about to go into labor. I do have a question about the game.
yeah.
I need to know what you put on your hot dog because on Instagram it looked delicious. And I also need to know if you saw Jeremy Allen White and how short he looked in person.
Okay. So, first of all, that hot dog, I did it for the gram. It was free in this lounge plate, this beautiful club that I was talking about that's in the
You
stadium.
didn't eat it?
No, I gave it to Andrew, but because I'm not supposed to have a hot dog.
I was
Like,
thinking that, but then I thought maybe it's like you're so close to the finish line. Why not have a freaking hot dog?
you know what? I thought about it. I thought real long and hard about it because this girl is disgusting in the way that I love my hot dogs. Like, I love a hot dog. And to me, a baseball game really isn't complete or like doesn't feel right without
Yeah.
a beer and a hot dog. Like, I am that bitch. And it was torture to not eat it. It was a Chicago dog, so it has all the fixings. It's very
Mhm.
important that you do it right. In this lounge, they had a whole Chicago. We take it very seriously here. They had a whole station for your hot dogs. So I made it, I grammed it, I handed it off to Andrew and cried. So
Wow.
that's the answer to that question.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh, so sad. And then as for Jeremy Allen White, we were on the first baseline. He was on the third baseline. He was there with the whole cast. They were all there.
Yeah.
Didn't see him in person there, but I have seen him in person and he is itty
Tiny.
bitty. It really ruins it.
I
He's
know.
so hot.
I
Well,
don't even think I've seen him multiple
I
times,
know.
like in years past around like when he was on Shameless
Shameless.
even. And
Yeah.
yeah. So I was just curious. I've never seen him like, actually, I have seen him out in the wild, but not at like a baseball game. It's always been like kind of dark or on a red carpet. So I was just curious what the,
What the vibe was there. He looked
yeah.
good. I mean, he
Okay.
looked good.
All right. It's time to talk about the tea. We have two big stories today to discuss. We usually reserve this space for stories about moms, but our first piece of tea this morning is something that is so disturbing and horrific. We felt like we had to discuss it, like we couldn't just not talk about it. And it's the video of Diddy assaulting Cassie in 2016 in a hotel hallway. The video matched allegations that she made in a now settled lawsuit from a few months ago. And on Sunday, days after the video surfaced on CNN, Diddy shared an Instagram video apologizing for his actions, basically admitting that, yes, that was him. You guys can go watch it. I don't feel like we need to sit here and quote him. Her lawyer has since responded to his apology, saying that his statement is more about himself than the many people he has hurt. And Hal, what are your thoughts on this whole story?
I will say I watched the video. It was the most disturbing thing I've seen in a long time. And I've been thinking about this a lot because it was hard to watch his apology. It was almost as hard to watch his apology as it was to watch the video of him assaulting her. And I just don't know that I buy it. And I agree with the lawyer that I think it was more about him saving face and reputation than it was a genuine, heartfelt apology for his action. What was your takeaway? I'm curious.
It's funny that you thought about him because I never once thought about what he should do. I thought about her and how horrific it must have been behind closed doors if that was what was happening in a hotel hallway. She
Right?
didn't have shoes on.
Yeah.
She was like literally trying to get away while he was in the shower. Like he had a shower towel wrapped around. And so I like you also watched the video, but I couldn't finish it. I just couldn't stomach it because it was so disgusting.
Mhm.
And I don't think there's any saving face for him. I
No.
know I do think that that's why he issued that apology, but then I also remember that after she sued him in November, he also denied all the allegations. So to me, it feels like he's only now trying to apologize because he got caught.
Yeah.
And
For
to
sure.
me, there's no apologizing anymore. I think we need to rid this man. I feel the same way about Chris Brown. Why do we constantly give these abusers chances? Why, in the media are the headlines still like Diddy allegedly?
Right.
No, he's copped up to it now. He said it's him. Anyways, the whole thing is just alarming. I don't think he needs more chances. I think we need to say bye-bye to Diddy. I know, and it's really upsetting that it's out of the statute of limitations
Yeah.
to really do anything or to prosecute over this. I think this man should be in prison. I don't think that there's any excuse for his actions. And I feel really strongly about that. And I think I feel extra strongly now as a mother. Like, I can't even imagine if that was
Oh,
happening to my own daughter. It's just so horrible. And I think, why do we give these people grace?
and I'm in the same boat. If anyone ever touched Dylan the way he touched Cassie, I would lose my mind. I would end up in jail.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, that's
100%.
exactly how I feel.
And I think for her, it seems like she has found peace. She's married, and her husband, he published on his Instagram a open letter that he wrote about men who abuse women. And if you haven't read it, I highly recommend you do, because I thought it was really well done, but it's awful. And I hope he ends up behind bars, and I hope that all of his victims find
Get
peace.
justice and also
Yeah.
peace. Yeah,
Yeah.
justice and peace.
Yeah.
Ugh, just
Yeah.
horrible. Anyways, sorry
Awful.
that that was such a dark
Yeah.
thing to discuss, but I feel like it's everywhere. And yeah,
It's
as moms,
everywhere.
especially, it's just that was so hard to watch.
Well, and from one man who's making headlines for being not so great to another man who's making headlines for being not so great. We got to talk about the Kansas City Chiefs kicker, Harrison Butker, because he gave a commencement speech that has really got people talking. He gave a lot of polarizing opinions during his commencement speech, but it was his message to the female graduates that I think really has people fired up more than anything else. During his speech, he said, "I think it is you, the women, who have had the most diabolical lies told to you. Some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world. I can tell you that my beautiful wife, Isabel, would be the first to say her life truly started when she started living her vocation as a wife and as a mother." Since he gave this speech, Jonathan Bean, the NFL's senior vice president and chief diversity and inclusion officer, released a statement saying that his speech was given in his personal capacity, that his views are not those of the NFL as an organization, and that they are steadfast in their commitment to inclusion, which only makes the league stronger. What did you take away from his speech?
I listened to it actually with Jason the night that it happened, and then all the TikToks and all the headlines and all the tweets and reels about it were coming out. And I was pretty disgusted. It felt like an attack on women, saying that we've been lied to and saying that the only way to have like true life fulfillment is to become a wife and a mother. He attacked IVF.
Mhm.
He attacked the LGBTQ plus community, and it just felt like a very hateful speech. That being said, there is nothing wrong with being fulfilled as a mother and a wife. In fact, I do feel really fulfilled right now being a mother and a wife, but I do need other things to fill my cup up
Mhm.
1,000%. And I'm so, so, so happy that we have that freedom as women to do as we please. And it felt like this was an attack on women's choices.
It's really interesting. We had a great conversation about it with my family over dinner, and Andrew said the most interesting thing.
Mm,
He said he doesn't think he's wrong, but where he went wrong was that he made it about women. Because Andrew
hmm.
says, at the end of my life, the thing that will matter most to me is how I showed up as a father, as a husband, as a son, a brother. That is the most important and fulfilling thing in my life, not just a woman's.
Yeah, what an
Right? Like,
interesting point and what a great point, because I
right.
do think that's not just the mother. It's also Jason. And actually, it's so funny that Andrew said that, because we talked the other day about Jason becoming a father and how much he loves it more than he ever thought he would.
One thing that I do think is interesting, there have been a lot of celebrities who have come out of the woodwork since his speech to give their opinion. And, Maria Shriver was one. And she said, "We all have the right to voice our opinions, but let us strive to do so with dignity and respect." And Whoopi Goldberg kind of echoed that on The View and was like, "Listen, we have to protect free speech," which is
Yeah,
interesting. Like we do, and I believe that as well.
totally.
Hate speech is a different story. Whoopi compared it to like Colin Kaepernick taking a knee. Like if we want to support him doing that, like there are people who don't agree with him doing it, but if we want to support his right to do that, we have to also, I mean, the truth is, the sad truth, because I don't believe in Harrison's stance. It's not my stance. The sad thing is, he got applause in the audience. No one was booing him. It's not my opinion. I don't like his opinion, but it is interesting. And how do we protect free speech? I don't know,
Yeah.
you know?
It's I'm glad you brought up Colin Kaepernick because I thought about that too, because he was removed from the NFL. Like he's not allowed to participate in the NFL because he took a knee. And I was trying to understand the difference.
Right.
Like, why isn't Harrison's career on the line? Why hasn't he been removed? I don't know. If you guys haven't listened to it, listen to the whole thing and let us know what your thoughts are on it because it does have a lot of people very divided. Yeah, I'm
Mm.
curious. So from those stories that made us say OMG to our OMG of the episode, there is a TikTok video that has now gone viral. It's from Craig Gardens, and she is giving clues that can help you identify if you or someone you love is in the mom trenches. Hallie, this video also made you laugh. I found it so hilarious. She said, "We seem to be having some confusion over which moms qualify as in the trenches, so I'm here to momsplain it to you. Here are her 4 signs. If you've managed a bodily fluid from your child at least once this calendar year, you are in the trenches. Number 2, go check out that mom van. And if you have at least 1 pound of unidentified crumbs, you're in the trenches. Third, she said, might be a hot take, but if you don't consider animals children because you know you could potentially leave your puppy alone for an hour in its crate and you wouldn't get arrested, you are in the trenches. And then finally, she said, the lingering thought of any mother in the trenches, if you are constantly worried about screwing them, AKA your kids, up in the present tense, as in you are actively screwing them up in this moment, as in today, I will replay all the ways I screwed them up. You are, in fact, in the trenches. Hallie, I want to know what your biggest telltale is that you are in the trenches.
Under boob sweat, having a tiny person watch you shower, pee, number 2, in the trenches. If your boobs are leaking breast milk all over your clothes, you're in the trenches. Let me say check, 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 check to her list. I've been there for all that. If you find Play-Doh on your very expensive furniture, you're in the trenches.
Those are good.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would be mine. How about you? What else? What do you have to add to the list?
I agree. Check, 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 check to hers.
Mm-hmm.
Toys everywhere. Kaia is currently in a throwing of the toy phase. I think she's trying to develop those motor skills. And when I tell you that I was really excited about this zoo puzzle, and now I can't find any of the zoo puzzle pieces because they've all been thrown places. Yeah, in the trenches. Little items of clothing just sitting on top of the washer that need to be put away
Mm-hmm.
because there's just a constant flow of laundry.
Yep.
It's we were actually embarrassed this weekend because we're like, why is our like why does it never go away? Why does the laundry pile never seem to shorten? What is happening? And yeah, I also feel like my fingers are dry because of how often I wash her high chair top
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
after all the meals. I feel like that means you're in the trenches. And then I'm trying to think what else. Finding her little bows everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Her hair is out of control right now. We have to blow dry it after bath time because
Yep.
it's growing so rapidly. And so I try to like pin it back in a bow and then she rips them off and throws them places. So
Mm-hmm.
the bows being, you know,
Yep.
a hidden treasure in all places of the home, in the car, in my purse, and sometimes I wear them on my shirt. And open, shut them, open, shut them. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yep.
Yes.
If you are chanting Miss Rachel at the end of the day when your child is asleep, you are in the trenches. To add
Mhm.
to your toys, if you have stepped on and injured yourself on toy pieces, in the trenches. If you have Googled, is blank normal? You're in the trenches.
Yeah.
You know what? Here's the truth. For the rest of our lives, we're in the trenches. We will never escape the trenches of motherhood. And no matter where you are, it's a trench of some sort. And we are wishing you love.
And support.
Yeah. Because these are just our current. I'm thinking about like, then your kids get older and you're like picking your kid up from detention. There's always a trench and we're in it forever. So,
So true. So
oh,
true.
so true.
Even now, I feel like older, like moms who are now grandmothers are still in the trenches because their
Yeah,
children are calling them constantly for advice,
totally.
for, you know, help.
Babysitting.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
We're all just in the trenches together, one
Yeah,
giant trench of life.
the
All
mama
right.
trench.
Yeah.
And on that note, we love our mamas. And this week's Mama We Love goes to a 48-year-old UK based writer, Louise Warrenford, who suffered through 18 miscarriages and had 16 rounds of IVF treatments. She tried to be a mom for 16 years. And she's married to a man named Mark, and they successfully gave birth to their miracle baby boy using a donor embryo, which they had tried several times before without success. Her baby's actually not a baby anymore. Her baby's 5 now. But she's opening up. She told Today parents that when William was placed in her arms, she felt like she won the lottery. She was absolutely euphoric, and all the doctors and the nurses were in tears because they knew her story. Now her mission is to help other women. She doesn't want them to suffer. She said, I think if women were to talk about this more often and being more open, it wouldn't be so taboo and it would help society. I would like to address that and help women feel more comfortable. And I love that. It's giving your pain purpose. And her message is so profound. If you want it, you can have it. And it's just a matter of tenacity, patience. I mean, God, 16 years of trying, I cannot imagine.
Mm-mm. I think, gosh, when I think about our own journeys and then thinking about waiting for that many years and doing that many rounds of IVF, my heart just goes out to her. And what a beautiful, beautiful ending to a really, really hard, sad story. And I think if anything, hopefully this offers people hope. And I think when we had Melissa Ordway on, she said it best, like your journey and your story might not look like how you planned it to look, but it will be yours.
Right.
And this is hers. And I think it's important to, IVF doesn't always work. Even
Mhm.
after 16 rounds, it doesn't always work. But I'm so glad that there are other avenues to becoming parents.
Yeah.
Or even if like none of this is for you, our journeys are all different and they should all be celebrated.
Yeah. Agreed.
We love this mama and we love that she is sharing her story because I do think it's like such an inspirational, eye-opening, heartfelt one of hope and like you said, tenacity.
Yeah. She's a badass, and so are you. And like we always like to say, motherhood is a sisterhood.
Woohoo! See you guys next time.